Tekken 8 might just be the best fighting game of this generation, or at least the best entry point for new players. Being a fighting game novice, I won't pretend to be a voice of authority on this topic, but having that novice perspective has opened my eyes to how great Tekken 8 is for both new players and the more casual audience. For many players, one of the most off-putting aspects of a fighting game is the daunting controls. Once you get the hang of the basics, there is often the second barrier to new players in the form of combos. For me, having played many games centered around fighting, I specifically remember being frustrated and alienated during my first exposure to the Street Fighter series due to the mix of attack and direction buttons feeling kinda random. Why can't the shoulder buttons just give me a sub-selection of special moves? Funny enough, Street Fighter has historically shorter and easier combos over Tekken, but that brings me to the introduction of Special Style. Special Style is essentially a button masher's best friend, with basic commands resulting in some visually stunning, complex combos. Special Style is a great way to somewhat close the skill gap for new players of the series, but in all honesty, the traditional controls are, in my opinion, super intuitive to begin with, so I almost feel like it's not needed. Tekken 8's traditional arcade controls are fairly simple and easy to grasp from the surface, with each of the 4 face buttons serving as limbs, direction inputs for movement, and your heat and rage modes being just a single press away. Now, learning combos can get fairly complicated fairly quickly, but one nice thing about Tekken is you can get pretty far by just focusing on the basics, and with so many combos, it's easy to stumble upon some of them organically. In my opinion, compared to many other fighting games, the arcade controls in Tekken are some of the easiest to pick up and play, while offering iceberg levels of complexity to those who want it. A low skill floor with a super high ceiling. So Tekken 8 is easy to pick up and find the fun. Like any other good fighting game, you don't feel like you have to reach a certain skill level to enjoy yourself. But a dilemma many fighting games run into is retaining the attention span of the more casual audience, myself included. Tekken 8's main solution to this problem is investment. And no, I'm not talking about battle passes, but rather the game modes and customization. You have Arcade Quest, which serves as a tutorialized story mode, while there's also a dedicated story mode in the form of The Dark Awakens, which just continues the Tekken timeline. Like Mortal Kombat, it's fun to go into each battle with some narrative context and what our characters are fighting for, and many of the cutscenes are straight up epic. There are also more casual modes like Tekken Ball, which allow you to spend tons of hours without even engaging in a proper fight. Another time sink for players is character customization. While not the deepest in the series, there are a lot of ways to make your character your very own. Between the many game modes and customization features, I think many new players may stick around long enough to perhaps want to get good, or at least competent. And that is where the assortment of different training tools really shine in helping players help themselves at getting better. To be expected, there are training rooms for drilling moves, which is super important for learning the much lengthier combos, but more impressively we have replay advice and ghost battles. When revisiting a replay, the game will give you specific advice on how a situation could have been handled better. It becomes easy to pick up on specific areas you may struggle in. For example, in one of my replays it became clear to me I'm not taking advantage of nearly enough throws. There were several openings that were just wide open that I missed. Even better than just being told how to improve, you can even demo and drill the specific move in real time. Super Ghost Battle is an even more engaging way to train your skills and approach. You can play against an AI representation of another player, or even more interesting, yourself. The AI doesn't quite make for a one-for-one recreation of yourself, but it's close enough to really help open your eyes to where you excel, as well as some of your shortcomings. A dozen matches in, and I found myself having to get creative just to keep up with my ghost. These Super Ghost Battles had me feeling like I was harnessing my skills in the hyperbolic time chamber. Tekken 8 does a great job of making learning feel fun. I'm sure some teachers could take some notes here. The fluid and approachable controls make this a great game to jump into as a new player, while the variety of modes and customization options can keep those players engaged long enough to want to learn what makes this game tick beyond just a bird's eye view. And with such powerful tools to improve oneself, I would imagine many players scared to play online might just feel a bit adventurous. Although I feel Tekken 8 is the best of the current gen bunch of fighting games at teaching and incentivizing new players, that's not to say that notable titles like Mortal Kombat 1 and Street Fighter 6 don't also have some great tools to help new players learn the ropes. Altogether, I think most modern fighting games are just as easy as ever to get into for new players, as well as being just as deep as ever. Of course, this video is like a yellow belt giving advice to a white belt, but sometimes that perspective can have value. As always, I appreciate you for watching, and until next time, see ya.